Hey guys, welcome to Life Builds. My name is Michael, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made $2,400 in just a weekend. Okay guys, so today I'm going to be explaining my experience flipping that $1,200 GSXR 600 that I bought about a month ago. This video has been highly requested. A lot of people were trying to buy the bike from me. A lot of people were saying, hey, I'll fly down right now. And truthfully, I'd already sold the bike. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to try a little bit of a different experience. Instead of standing in my apartment or walking around the garage, I'm going to try driving. And by the way, this is a new project car coming to the channel in the next couple weeks or so. I just purchased this one for an absolute steal. So this video is basically going to be explaining how much I made, how I did it, and how you can also make $2,400 in one weekend. All right, jumping right in, I'm going to show you a clip of a bike that I purchased about a month ago. And this is a 2004 Suzuki GSXR 600. Now I picked this bike up for only $1,200, but I had to work for it. So here you go. Alrighty, here we are at the bike. Looking pretty crusty, but I think we could fix it. That is how the bike looked when I first bought it. It was a non-running bike. It had been laid over. It was filthy, okay? And so what I did is I saw a vision with that bike. Obviously, it was worth all of $1,200 when I bought it because it had been so discarded. But I thought about it and I was like, okay, you know, it's cranking, but it's probably not getting fuel. So in this clip, I went home after getting it transported home, and I sprayed some starter fluid in the airbox. Well, bam, the bike started up. So that told me we were not getting fuel into the bike. Hey, that's a good sign. So I started diving into it. I ran some injector cleaner through it, didn't help. I checked the fuel pump. It was getting voltage, but it was not activating. So in this clip, you can see where I did that test. What we're testing right now is whether or not the fuel pump is getting voltage or not. So put you guys right there, and then I will activate the bike and you should see a voltage turn on for a second. Now I've determined, okay, it needs a fuel pump. So I jump on Amazon and I bought a fuel pump for something like $37. Now I read a bunch of reviews and I read the fuel pressure output, which was a concern for many of you guys. And it was the exact same as the factory fuel pump. So I was like, okay, I feel comfortable putting this in the bike. I don't feel like it's gonna strand the next owner. So I did that, and now I have a running bike. But it still looks very, very ugly. It's not an appealing bike. And one thing I've learned through flipping cars and bikes and jet skis is that people buy with their eyes. Now, yes, a vehicle, toy, or whatever needs to be running well, but ugly vehicles are very, very hard to sell. And so I decided, okay, the next thing I need to do is I need to make this motorcycle aesthetically pleasing. Well, I bought some custom seat covers off of eBay. I think they're about $100, and immediately it transformed the bike. Now here's a clip of me installing those, and you can just see the difference from these old, ripped, nasty, discarded seat covers to these beautiful colored seat colors. The next thing I did to make this bike aesthetically pleasing was I noticed the grips were very ripped. They were discarded, the bike had been laid over, it didn't look good. So what I did is I purchased some heated grips because that way the bike is more versatile. You can use it in the winter, in the summer. Plus, for the month I owned the bike, I really wanted heated grips. So I installed those, boom. Now the bike looks like brand new. The mirror was a little bit wobbly, so I used some epoxy, tried to glue that. It worked okay, but at high speeds it would still wobble. I ended up selling it for a little bit of a discount because of that, and that was okay because I was still making profit. Besides just making money, one of the things is you got to think, if I were to buy this bike, what would I want? I would want a good mechanically running bike that also looks nice. So I did things like I did new brakes, I did spark plugs, I did injector cleaners, I cleaned the tank out because it had been rusty. There was a bunch of little things I did to this motorcycle to make it a mechanically sound motorcycle. The next thing that I went about doing was fixing the throttle cut issue. This bike would only rev to about 8,000 to 10,000 RPMs, and I thought that was very weird. The bike should be revving to about 16,000, and it was not. So what I did is I ended up finding a YouTube video. By the way, I'm a big supporter of YouTube videos. I am 100% self-taught on YouTube. I didn't take any course. I literally watched YouTube videos and bought a bunch of toys, motorcycles, cars, like I just said, and just learned to work on them. So I ended up watching a YouTube video on how to read the codes, and I pulled up a C28 code, which is STVA malfunction, or the secondary throttle valve actuator. Now, that is a system designed for emissions control, but I was like, hey, is there a way to bypass this system? Because I was going on a ride with my dad that weekend, which was one of the main reasons I purchased this bike. Yes, I wanted to make money, but also my dad lives about 2.5, 3 hours away from here, and I have a lot of motorcycles throughout the seasons, but he loves riding motorcycles and does not have one at this current moment. So I bought this one so that I could take him on a ride and do a weekend riding trip with him. I figure out, hey, look, I can take this STVA and I can manually force it open, and instantly the bike was revving up to 16,000 RPMs. Here's a clip of a pole. That is a lot better from it bogging out at 8,000 like I had just showed you guys. I was happy. Now the bike was fast, it was fun, it was mechanically sound, and I took it on a road trip with my dad that next weekend, which I ended up putting about 200 miles on the bike. And here's a few clips from that. That weekend was a lot of fun. The bike ran perfectly, there was no issues, and I was literally thrilled with my purchase. The final step came when I decided to sell the motorcycle. I wanted to get about $3,000 out of the motorcycle. Then I checked the value of it, and I found that that was actually pretty undervalued. Most of the Suzuki GSX-Rs in that range with that mileage were going for around $4,500. Now, I knew this bike had been laid over. I knew it wasn't in perfect condition. So I was like, I want to get about $3,500 out of it. I ended up posting it, and I got a ton of offers almost immediately, and ended up selling it for, wait, I can't tell you that yet because we haven't done a cost breakdown. All right, so I'm gonna be doing a price breakdown of my $1,200 GSX-R. So obviously the original purchase price was $1,200, as you guys saw in the first video. The gas to get there, I borrowed my friend's truck. That was $25. It had a completely shot battery, so that was $91. The seat bolts to hold down the driver's seat were missing, so that was $15. The fuel pump I purchased was $38. The seat covers that I purchased off eBay were $107. The foot peg, one of them was pretty messed up. I found a used one for $5. I think my friend had it or something. I put new rear brakes on it, which was $17. Spark plugs, I bought the Iridium ones, they were $20. The heated grips, I think it was $20. The gas for motorcycle testing, so I'm literally including riding around testing the bike, that was $13. And the epoxy to fix the mirror was $5. So that brings our total cost for this entire rebuild to $1,556. That's not bad for a running driving motorcycle. I put about 400 miles on when I owned it. What did I sell this motorcycle for? Well, I knew it wasn't worth full $4,500 because it had been laid over, but I knew it was worth more than $3,500 because it had thousands and thousands of dollars worth of upgrades. I ended up selling it to someone, an enthusiast, who wanted it for $4,000. That's pretty good. So that means in total profit, I made $2,444 in profit on this motorcycle, which means I literally doubled my investment. Now, this isn't to gloat, this isn't to be like, oh, look how much money I made. This is meant for educational purposes. You see, because when I was first getting into this, I was like, is it actually possible to make money flipping cars, flipping motorcycles? And it actually is if you're willing to put in the work that others are not. I learned everything I know off of YouTube videos and asking for help. Sometimes I'd pull up to a mechanic and be like, hey, can you help me with this? And sometimes they'd charge me a little bit, sometimes they'd just help me. And finding people and being willing to ask for help is one of the most crucial points to succeeding. Because, for instance, I can't tell you too much, but this car that I'm currently in had an issue, and I was able to call my dad and call my friend. Boom, within about an hour, I got it fixed. And being able to utilize resources, have friends help you, and then be able to return the favor when you know something they don't is amazing. So I want this to be an inspiration to you guys. I made $2,444, and yes, I owned the bike for about a month, but in total, most of the time was either riding the bike or waiting for parts. And I'm guessing it took me less than a weekend worth of work to make all that money. And then that money then rolls into the next one. I'm not just going out there blowing the money, I'm rolling that into the next purchase. So that was purchased for this car. And there's some left over to now buy more parts and upgrades and stuff like that. And I'm trying to make really good content for you guys and, give it something that I would want to watch. So I hope this video inspired some of you. I hope it answered some of those questions for how much I sold the bike for, how much I made, how much it cost. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that subscribe button. I'm putting out a ton of videos. I got about 7 videos queued up, ready to post. I just have to finish editing them. It's a lot of work. I'm trying to film so much more than I've ever filmed. And you guys have been so kind. The comments have been incredible. And I just want to say thank you. So I'm looking forward to a great season full of many, many cars, jet skis, boats, bikes, whatever you name it. I'm going to try to do it. But thank you guys for watching. See you next time.